Haven, what's good? We back with another video. Like I said, consistency is on the way. If you're new to the channel, hit the like, hit the sub, hit the share button, and hit them comments up as we discuss and dissect. You know, I'm getting back into it, working my energy back up, getting back used to this stuff. But man, let's help me get back into the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? We getting the ball rolling here, Haven. You know what I'm saying? Grand Rising, Supreme Shining. Wherever you at in the world, I hope you having a great, abundant day, abundant rotation, pardon, odd cancel manifestation. You know what I'm saying? Because to be in the day is to be in the days. It's a rotation. So anyhow, in this video, we'll be looking at highly enlightening TikToks that might raise your frequency and vibration. This is a long one, so get your party favors. As I said, I just got done with mine. Let's get right into it, Haven. I'm talking about as I said. That's because the last clip when I was recording this intro, I messed it up. I had to redo it. So I'm like, yo, but yeah, get your party favors, man. Get your party favors. It's a long one.
Chosen, not fall back to sleep.
You know, we gotta work our way through this till it snap into place for some reason. Still,
I'm talking
I still don't know why it does that.
Money offerings. For example, let's look at TikTok. They sending mad invites to people to promote their items. Obviously, promoting consumerism. And we all know, quote unquote, black people are the top consumers. And it's all by the design. And by the end of this video, you will understand why. We also got Nasera and cryptocurrencies. That's going to create countless millionaires so we can continue to fuel the system. In order to understand this matrix system, you must know the foundation of it is the quote unquote black people in America. Because of the fallen angel of man DNA. We are the Christ. This is why we're out here teaching the word the correct way with no deception. We are the church because we have the original bodies. We are one, and one is God. We are pieces of that one God who is the true creator. This is what makes it possible that our minds can exist in one place outside of our real bodies. I know this might trip y'all out a bit. This is why I don't mention it much. But what if I was to tell you that our incorruptible bodies is still in heaven, but we are in a coma as a result of the war because they stole our souls by using the keys and then placed us down here. This is why ancient tablets show different entities holding the keys. The staff of Hermes, which is the hospital symbol, also represents the keys. As y'all can see, this is the popes holding a staff with a keys. They even have a large keys at the Vatican representing their victory over mankind. For the short time, of course. This is why it represents our pineal gland because that's where our soul is trapped at. Also, the eye of Horus represents the black hole that our minds are trapped in. And from my point of view, this black hole will look like the black sun, which is the Nazi symbol. Because they enslaved us. They symbolize it everywhere. Even though we're still in a fallen state, our minds still control this dimension, and they know this. Hence the reason we have a government, because they want to control how we think. The reason we have Congress, so they can progressively make steps backwards. Basically dumbing us down so we never wake up to this truth. Although their intentions is clearly in the word, but most people are too asleep to recognize this. I want y'all to think about this. If we are one, we should be able to combine our energy, right? Just like that show, Captain Planet, back in the day when it's actually us they're talking about. That's why they separate us. So let's say there's 100 quote unquote black people here in America. 51% of them places metaverse goggles on. The other 49% will start to see the world as if they have on metaverse goggles, but they don't. To keep this simple, our manifestation power is so strong, we are the ones literally creating this matrix with our minds because we are one and we are fueling it with our energy. This is why they created media so they can control the narrative of the matrix. I mean, it wouldn't even take you long to just sit and think for a moment.
It's off put, right?
No, naturally.
Well, we get the message on the audio.
And how innocent we were. The enemies taught us evil in order to create negative energy they can manifest off of.
I thought I was tripping for a second.
Our vision. They had to brainwash us in order to get their desired manifestation. Because the power literally lives inside of us, not them. This is why they try to silence guys like me, because they know, and I know, the moment enough of us wake up and become conscious of what's really happening around here, everything will change in an instant. It will literally collapse the matrix. I mean, like, to the point, people will start to disappear because they are a part of the program, or negative-based entities that are from the underworld. And of course, most people will think this is the rapture, when really these entities was never real or wasn't even supposed to be here to begin with. Just in case y'all don't know what rapture means. Carrying off, seizure, kidnapping. It also says it comes from the word rapier, meaning rapid. That is the instance I'm talking about. As y'all can see, it's basically the same word, but in more detail. By force, violate, death, fate, disease. Now ask yourself, after I just showed y'all this, does a rapture sound pleasant to you? But of course, in America, the homo propaganda, you type in this word, this is what you're gonna find. The exact opposite. Because we're in an upside down world. And here's why. Y'all 4 founding fathers is actually the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
I'm just gonna listen.
See, the 4th one has a name, and it's death.
But yeah.
But they keep the other ones hidden. Now here's a chart I made of the bloodlines. Jupiter, Venus, Saturn.
Oh, we're gonna pause it right here though. Hold on. We're gonna pause it right here though. Now hold on now. Hold on now. Before I gotta let it out. You know, I gotta embrace my inner child, right? Let me know in the comments if you used to watch Captain Planet. Captain Planet, he's a hero. That was my show, I ain't gonna lie. But anyhow, yeah, I had to let that out. Let's look at this. Okay. So, this is something I want to talk about actually. The archangels. Y'all be careful with the archangels. You know, we all got our own experience. I'm not here to, you know, attack your experience or tell you, you know what I'm saying, it's your experience. But be careful with the archangels because some of them are fallen and are a part of some of these agendas and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So just be careful.
Nephes, who is death, are the 4 horsemen. Now back to this. Add grim in front of this word. Now what does that sound like? The grim rapier, right? What does that represent? Death. Right? So to keep it simple, the rapture is the Grim Reaper coming down to kidnap souls, which will be all the low vibrating entities here, not the chosen ones that has the fallen angel of man DNA. They want us to think backwards and slowly introduce their new world order in hopes that we can manifest another reality for them again with things like movies, crypto, Nasera Gesera, GMO, everything, basically creating the metaverse, where they can have complete control over AI forever. So I said all that to say this. The apocalypse is really the collapse of the matrix, and it's the end of their time, not ours. And they need our energy in order to create alternate realities for them. This is why you have to stay woke and preserve and control your energy.
Ground yourself.
Allow them to manifest
yourself.
Anyway,
balance yourself.
Y'all be guys. Peace.
He be putting that together real well.
Ones. If you're mentally weak, go ahead and scroll now.
We got more. Okay.
Because I already know it's a touch.
Yeah, he looked like he had his party favors on deck.
Subject, but I got to. I realized that we're not even supposed to have kids. Now stick with me. I'm about to try to explain why. Let's start in the very beginning. God El, the leader of the Elohim. I may know him as Yaqub or Jacob. He created a dragon, which ended up having a spirit, which is a star. And the name of the star is Neptune. So Neptune is the first creation of the underworld.
This here, man. This here. I gotta really look at this because he kind of lost me. Before he gets started, I paused it because I, you know what I'm saying? But man.
Goes to the top. It has the sun, the moon, and earth. The sun is positive energy, the moon is negative energy, and Earth is pure energy.
Okay.
So notice Neptune had upside down moon and the symbol of Earth, meaning he is powered.
Was Neptune down low?
Damn, I zoomed in He's too much. Earth and the sun. He's powered by the sun. Then Mars created Uranus. This is how it got power from the sun and the moon. But the moon is on top, which means it's mainly negative energy. Then Uranus and Neptune created Pluto. They all call it a dead planet because it's mainly powered by the sun, but it's too far away from the sun. Note that all 3 of these planets on the bottom has upside down moons because they're on the outer belt of the stars. Now within those stars, Mars control because he is the second creation of the underworld. So Mars ended up making Saturn. As y'all can see, it is the Earth and the moon. But this is where the war started because Saturn went back to the Earth to create, which is next creations with Jupiter and Venus. So no, Jupiter came out with the Earth and the moon, powered by the moon, but Venus came out with Earth and the sun, powered by the sun. And this was never supposed to happen. So Venus and Jupiter create another planet, which is Mercury, duality. This is why the sun and the moon is actually balanced on top of Earth. It's their closest image to man, the original stars of Earth, the real sons of God. So Uranus and Neptune is separated by a belt of stars. So this is why they run the United Nations. The UN really mean Uranus and Neptune. If you look closely, obviously, that's the flat Earth map. If you look a little closer, you'll see them leaves are actually a pitchfork. They're a symbol. Not only that, do you think that grid over the map means nothing? It's the covenants of Azazel, the other group they split into, because of the fixed stars. They say Saturn runs his world because he's on the outer belt with inside the fixed stars. As I mentioned several times before, this is Jacob's ladder and the Tower of Babel. This is how we're really positioned. Venus and Mercury is trying to ascend to heaven, while Jupiter and Saturn is trying to ascend out of these fixed stars.
I zoomed in too much. We can't even see some of the stuff, yo.
We have the 7 reptile planets.
It's all right,
we have 7 chakras. We have 7 continents. We have 7 races, all mixing with each other. That created bodies that allowed the fallen angels to come down and possess.
The fallen angels are angels expelled from heaven. Notice how the way they describe 2 different angels. One was cast out, and the other one sinned. And these particular angels tempted humans to sin. As y'all can see, the fallen angels are the sons of God. As I said before, the Elohim and man are the sons of God. But man is the image of God. The Elohim sinned by having a war with God in heaven, along with tempting other entities on helping with that war. Man was cast down because we fell in frequency during the war. In this dimension, this means we died in the war in heaven. This is why they created the straw man and corporations, because they are considered dead entities. We are in the middle ground, below heaven, but above the underworld. This is how we're able to make negative or positive choices, which is a frequency you decide to choose over your lifetime. Under the law of free will in this area, that shouldn't even exist, because our God didn't make it. When y'all hear me continuously mention that we fell in frequency during this war, this is what they mean. We are fallen. We are the fallen angels. We are the first temple, which is the vessels we was put in when we were sent down here. Meaning we still have the DNA, which is memory sticks of all of existence. This is why they experimented on us. The second temple is creations from the fallen angels, such as the giants you hear about. Notice how the way they say human women and fallen angels as if they are 2 different entities. It's because we are. Obviously, no, men and women are completely different physically, but we are also mentally. And this is by design, because we are also Nephilim, which is a wide range of bodies they created. This is how you're able to choose your frequency. Once again, under the law of free will. But the thing here is, woman has a larger lizard and mammal brain compared to a human brain. This is why women are more emotional and men are more logical. The thing about this is, you can work on making your brain stronger on either side. This is why they work so hard on keeping the father out of the picture. Because it removes logic, which is God's voice that leads to peace and order to all, no matter how he's feeling. So without that, somebody's controlling their emotions. And this modern day is TV, social media, and we know who controls that. This is why things are so negative, because they created these bodies and they're steering our frequencies. All right, back to this.
Yo, wait, because he's saying a lot I don't want to forget, man, because I tend to do that. I want to piggyback. First and foremost, I want to say, this is what I want to tell y'all. We are the ones we are waiting for. We live from love. We give love. We are love. You know what I'm saying? Now, with the Elohim, the M stands for malevolent. I told you guys this once before on this channel if you've been watching. If you're new to the channel, you don't got to go back. I'm telling you now, the M is for malevolent. You got Elohim, Seraphim, and damn, I'm forgetting the other one. So sad. You see what I'm saying? Them damn party favors. Anyhow, the M stands for malevolent. You don't want to, that's no good. You want to rock with the Elohai, the Seraphim. You get what I'm saying? The Braharama. You get what I'm saying? All right, let's get it though.
You see the destroyed bodies, the souls that survive, it still roams Earth as demons. And as I told y'all before, demons are parasites. It's their punishment to get demoted back to 2D. So things that only have a soul always have to exist physically, while we have a spirit, so we don't have to exist physically. Now I want y'all to notice how the way they say the sins of the fallen angels occurred before human history.
And they mean the Elohim, the war against God in heaven, which caused us to fall into their territory, which eventually led to us mating with them because of their ability to shapeshift. They say there's 2 verses in the Quran that possibly may support the fallen angels. So 1649, they say all living creatures, meaning from all planets and all angels in the heavens and on earth, were bound to the bodies. And 666, out of all numbers, guard yourself against kindred, against fire, whose fuel is human beings and stones. It kind of clearly says their fuel is human beings. Stones could be elements, which we are also. And we all should know this is the real reason racism exists, because we are the original fallen angels. So just take a wild guess at who the GOAT could be. It's also light bearer, male and female, as in duality. But what's on the lap, though, is the problem. Obviously, we know what the 2 snakes mean. The wings for the Elohim, and the hot sauce to alter our genetics to make their type of race.
Sick.
And how they end up doing it was this, the Ouroboros, the infinity sign. So I explained to everybody before that men is a positive energy and women is a negative energy. When we create, it's like an explosion and another star is formed. But every time we have a baby, right, our energy is split, creating other timelines, which makes it hard to collapse the matrix this whole time. But just take a wild guess at how they did this with the bodies. Like I said, they split our energy when we were sitting down here. Now, what does that look like on a woman? And the tail goes in. They got us trapping ourselves on all types of levels.
Yo.
The next dream that I had is towards
That was something. We're gonna keep rolling because that was a lot. That was a lot.
In this dream, I saw something that I have never seen before, and I pray that I will never see it again. And it was from this dream that the Lord taught me about something called melanin. I think I've only spoken about it once, and God was making me to know how prized this thing melanin is, in that it's an extreme rejuvenator. It keeps the body young. It slows down aging. It just is a refresher. I don't know much about it scientifically. I wasn't moved to dig too deep into this because this thing that I saw, God put me in a room. And I will just call this the dream of dehydrated black people. A dehydrator is different from being dehydrated. Dehydrated is when you haven't had enough water and you can still look exactly the way I look. You can still look the way you look, but you feel tired because your cells lack water, so you need water. A dehydrator is a particular type of thing that is built and you put flesh into it, usually animal flesh. You usually put cows into it, or you put sheep into a dehydrator. When you've prepared them, obviously when you've shaved off all their wool, or you've taken off the cowhide and you just have the meat, and then you can put the dehydrator on, and a dehydrator works with extremely high temperatures, but it doesn't work with moisture. So just like dehydration means you don't have enough water, a dehydrator is something that uses powerful waves of hot air, dry heat, to dry meat. God put me in a room where I was not affected, but I was standing inside a room and looking at about 40 black people, stark naked, dying in that room.
Man, that's crazy.
Inside the dehydrator.
That's crazy.
They had been put in there without water, and they had been in there, at the time I was in there, they had been in there for maybe 3 days, subjected to this supreme intense heat, with the purpose that they would literally dry and turn into human raisins.
Wow.
And the knowledge the Lord put in my heart was, Celestial, different types of death affect the human body in different ways. And this chemical inside the body that black people have that actually gives them the dark pigment, the almost uniform dark pigment of the eyes, of the skin, and of the hair, this thing called melanin is extremely prized as a life extender. And those who know what this thing does, those who know how to extract it and know that it extends life, and also melanin can bring back youth if you consume enough of it. This is the understanding that I had. But you can't destroy it by, for instance, shooting a person in the head. The person dies, and the thing that produces the melanin, I guess, is just off. With the death, it's off, and you won't get the benefit of it. But if you can take life away so slowly that this flesh with the blood in it living and all that is inside, all these chemical compounds inside us that I have no knowledge of, for I am not a scientist, if you can take away life in such a way that you preserve it exactly the way you preserve a fig or preserve a raisin, then when that body is consumed, it will be rich with the melanin.
Wow.
And you can have that. And so long story short, the Lord put me in a room with about 30 or 40. These were all full adults, no children. These are fully grown men and women, stark naked. And they were so weak that some of them had fallen by the door where they had been trying to find a way out. Some of them had fallen at all different points of this completely sealed, boiling hot, because a sauna is different. A sauna, you can put water in there. It was worse than a sauna. It was so excessively hot. They had fallen, and they were in the last stages of life around the third day. But the worst thing in that room was the fact that inside that room was a locked and sealed freezer. And inside that freezer were all the people who had already passed on, had been put in there to now preserve them fresh.
Sick.
This dream was also 2017.
Sick.
This is the United States of America. I have no interest in who believes and who does not believe. The entire purpose of my life at this point is that the truth will come out so that it can be heard. For when the judgments come, it must be impossible for America to say, we did not know. You will not be able to say, we did not know. We did not know is different from we did not believe. We did not know means the evidence, the information, it never hit our ears. No one told us. Great was our sin, but we never heard it. However, we did not believe is each person's preference, each person's situation. That means you did hear, but you chose not to believe. And that situation does not involve me at all. This one, we did not know. That involves me. For if no one speaks, how will they know if no one is sent to them, but someone has been sent? So once I speak, the burden, the requirement upon me is removed immediately.
I got another message from that.
Whether you believe or do not believe, that does not involve me. This is the Master's Voice Prophecy blog. I will stop this here. I literally will stop this here. I'm Celeste.
Yo, hold on now.
Okay, my people, abundance and gratitude.
Hold on, before he yap his yap, you know, I give grace, gratitude, and thanks for the video and the content. But let me just give my input here. You know what I'm saying? They got beings pretty much shrinking and shriveling up our people and preserving them to consume us, in a long story short. And to consume our people. Let's not say, oh, it's cancel manifestation, because I'm not going for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a deep divine being, deep divinely protected, and I'm very powerful. My people don't play about me. So, you feel me? It's a little different, but yeah, they shriveling people up. And in the last video, you seen they had the what's it called? What's it called, man? Somebody transom. The dude who's showing the plane that was unloading something. I don't know. Let's keep rolling though.
Abundance
Listen
and
up.
gratitude to this divine empress right here that the cosmos has spoke to through her visions. And like she stated, you can believe it all you want or not. That's on you. But when you, like she said, she don't even really understand and know the scientific biological composition of melanin. So this was something that was given to her through a vision. Now, this vision started in 2017 that she had, and I told y'all that this was the 7-year tribulation, that this was the countdown. In 2017, it started in 2017, and she spoke about the fact that she seen black people inside of a room, and the room was so hot, way hotter than a sauna. It had no, moisture in there. It was just dry heat. And what do you see now coming to the planet via the sun. The planet is heating up with high amounts of neutrino beams and ionized particles, CMEs, that are hitting the planet. And she also spoke about the fact that if you want to believe this or you don't want to believe it, that's fine. I told you that this is all going to boil down to genetics. Melanin and chlorophyll, the only difference between melanin and chlorophyll, chlorophyll has magnesium, melanin has supposedly the iron that's inside of it. So if we was to switch the iron and magnesium that plants and trees have, then we would do exactly what trees do, and trees would do what we do. We would look like trees and trees would look like us. If we was to switch that chemical composition between magnesium and iron. Melanin is life. It's no other way around it. Melanin is God. Melanin is divine. Melanin is whatever you want to call, melanin is whatever you want, however you want to look at it. My apologies, people, pause. Yes, however you want to call it, whichever way you want to look at it. Melanin is divine. That's the key. And we, the organic species of this planet, naturally produce that. That is who we truly are. We are the sun and the cosmos walking in the flesh. Why do you think Planned Parenthood, why do you think so many of our children go missing and women go missing because of their genetics? Kids rolled up in school mats, autopsies are being done on them, their organs are being missing. The joke is on them. The embarrassment is on us. This is an embarrassment.
It is.
This is what I've been telling you since day one. You do not have to, listen, y'all all think people that's supposed to be coming with truth and coming with information is supposed to look like the way that society or the world has told you. No, that's a program. We coming in all forms and facets. Some of us walking around with sweatpants. Some of us walking around, you know what I'm saying, with leggings on. Some of us got bonnets on our head. Some of us got hair wraps. We coming different. We're not shirt and ties and suits. We're not none of that. We're not politically correct. We're universally aligned. That's the difference. Because politically correct, I want to achieve the goals of the same goals as my oppressors. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a billionaire. I want to be able to, I want this. I need this. I want to be able, no, that is all death and destruction. And the planet is heating.
Shout out to my man right here talking that talk.
You are drying up from the inside out. Just like a microwave. When you heat your food up in the microwave, the radiation in the microwave heats up the molecules that makes up the food that you are eating. The same thing that's taking place on this planet. They are heating up from the inside out and from the outside in. Outside in from the UVA, UVB, inside out from the UVC radiation and rare iron oxide dust. That is now binding with their the atom, the smallest molecule, their atom, and it is now changing every living organism on this planet. It is literally changing every
and I can feel the changes. Can you?
Organism on this planet.
Can you?
Period.
That lets me know.
There will be no excuses. The ones that want to walk around and talk about their light beams and all this other bull crap. There will be no excuses, America. There will be no excuses, eukaryotic cell. There will be no excuses, complex cell organism. Not one excuse. Abundance and gratitude to you all.
Okay, now.
So hold on now. Slow down. Listen, I just want to say specifically to my carbon, copper, brown, melanated people. Say it with me in the comments. I am more than the color of my skin. We are not afraid. We are free. I send deep divine abundance, balance, harmony, love, prosperity, strength, and unity. Haven family.
What we got?
These are $6 each.
The fuck?
Yeah.
This is how you know it's a good pie.
I don't know now, friend. Now that look like a patty pie.
Right. They do. They look crazy. Y'all eating that
That look
pie?
kind of fake.
What's up?
Look at this. I don't know about that pie. Look at that.
Yo.
I just wanted to make sure you guys know. So you get two.
I love the natural beauty, but I'm gonna be honest, man. This deadhead food she eating, I don't know about that.
This don't make no sense.
Friend.
Oh my god.
The fuck is that?
Man,
You eat apple pie?
That is not no apple pie. Ooh, friend.
Y'all eat pie, Didi?
Look at.
I feel like Dante eats apple pie, no? Dante, you eat apple pie? Period.
she want
I hope
everybody to
they
hit
said
that
no.
piece of pie.
Why you don't say nothing?
Cause they full, baby. Don't look. That don't make no sense. Look at
Don't make no
that.
sense.
Friend. No.
Well, honey is one of the only foods that never decay. Honey can be 10,000 years old and you can still eat it. I think I taught a class one time 100 uses of honey. So wounds, burns, scars, honey will help heal it. In fact, if they had to use honey, many people got amputations. They could have saved them if they used honey. Okay. And wait a minute. This is the northern part of Kemet, right? Down north. This was the land of the bee.
Facts.
They had honey barges. Kemet is the first place where they did international trade of honey. So if they just wanted lotus honey, they only have lotus here on the ship, on the barge, so you only get lotus honey. If they, so this is the first place. The symbol for the ruler of the north is what? The bee. The crown has a little swirl on it, which is the bee antenna. When the white is the hive, so you see the upper and lower Kemet is the beehive inside of its nest with the coil, with you being the beekeeper. If you know anything about the beekeeper, there's a movie out now called The Beekeeper.
It sure is.
The beekeeper protects the hive and the queen. The queen is the only one that can make the king. So
'Cause
you
your
give
woman
all this
chooses you.
accolades
Hello.
to the king. He's just like the peacock. But, right, so he's peacocking, but the real power is with the queen.
Yo, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Lately, I've been meditating or just being in nature, and bees been approaching me lately. So pay attention, because our benevolent spirit team, spirit gods, guardian angels, ascended masters, ancestors, cosmic ancestors, star family, blood lineage, they don't got a physical body in this realm. They don't have a actual audient voice like we do. So you gotta pay attention to your surroundings, to the universe, to listen to universal language, man. So pay attention to your surroundings. Look up the omens. A omen doesn't have to be bad. So pay attention, Haven. Get it, man. Do your work. Do your back end work. You know what I'm saying? Do your shadow work. Do what you gotta do, Haven. That's crazy, man. If you drink any of these, please stop drinking these. But where's the recipe at? I don't know about that miracle move.
These is what they want you to replace the mocha frappes with.
What?
With these.
What is it?
Premier Protein.
Michelle, take that motherfucking shit out of my goddamn house right now. You gonna be in danger. Take that bullshit out of my house.
No.
I'm not gonna touch it. Baby, we'll throw it in the trash because you. Oh, you make me dribble on
Call it here, because that's doctor's orders right there. He took.
I don't care about doctor's orders.
You got McDonald's though.
I know how I feel.
And I'm gonna tell him you did that.
Tell him. Like they my daddy or something. My daddy named Walker Walker. I don't give a fuck about them. They don't care about me. And Dr. Ziscanoni or whatever his name is, he proved it today arguing with Sue.
Get your shake.
I'll never, ever.
Since when has Bananas ever done this? Y'all check this video out. This is definitely a GMO banana.
Burrow bananas, baby bananas, man.
Showing me that she opened the banana.
That ain't the ones you want. What is that?
It's definitely not real.
Supermarket, but when she opens it and she breaks it in half, it gets very tough.
Look at that.
And doesn't really break.
That is insane.
And when it
you gotta force it. Like you gotta
glue.
Yeah, no.
Very tight and doughy.
Absolutely not. Be careful what you eating and feeding your offspring, man.
Literally, what's the point of them genetically modifying fruits and vegetables like this? Because this right here, you can obviously tell that this is GMO. This is overkill.
For sure.
That is overkill. Throw it away. Throw it all away.
Sure.
This needs to be talked about. Ooh. At some point, y'all, we do got to start speaking up about stuff like this. I ain't even gonna cap, because they gonna keep on making food GMO. And it's basically unaliving. It's gonna start unaliving people. Like, let's keep it real.
It already is.
Real food.
Cancer, this, that.
And the fact that they putting this in stores to feed the people, that's a crime within itself, gang. No way. This is ridiculous.
I know woman a call me, ask me for no lunch money these days. And mango season, mango arrive. No KFC, no Burger King, no Popeyes. Mango tree, mango for free. No money.
Remember how I...
Hold on, man, because listen, we always talk about it here and there on the Haven. Off grid, with some land, with our people. Fruit trees, vegetables. You know what I'm saying? All the righteous things. We got our little community. The Haven. Yo, hit the like button, hit the stop button, hit the share button, man.
Said earlier in this speech that the farmers need to give up their farms before 2030, specifically that year. Yeah, so that's not a coincidence. That year doesn't come out of nowhere. So that year is basically the deadline that our global elites have given our country and will probably give you to abide by these new regulations. And that agenda is called the 2030 Agenda. And now I have a slide showing you what that entails.
Absolutely not,
So the 2030 Agenda is a United
that.
Nations agenda. So there we go. Everybody's part of the United Nations, right? The entire world. And this agenda consists of 17 what they call sustainable development goals. And when you take a look at them right there, you're like, well,
my thing is this, man. If that's the goal, why the farmers got to give up their stuff like they can't help?
What's wrong with that? You know, they all seem very noble. No poverty, no hunger. Who could be against that?
Everything is not
However,
as it
if we
seems,
take a
people.
closer look at how they actually want to accomplish all of this, anybody with 2 functioning brain cells realizes that this cannot happen unless there is an active and maybe even forceful redistribution of goods, foods, property, and our rights, which basically comes down to the obliteration of all of our basic liberties and our rights. And these goals, as I said, are not restricted solely to the Netherlands. They are global. And that's where we see their true motive. The people behind this want to establish a one world government, a new world order in which they decide what we eat, when we eat, where we travel, when we travel, who we meet, and what we are allowed to spend our money on. Basically, control over every single aspect of our lives. And I'm sure that many of you have heard the famous sentence from Klaus Schwab, you know, where he says, "You'll own nothing and you'll be happy." Right? Yeah, that's this agenda. So why are the people behind this agenda specifically targeting farmers?
Whatever.
Well, it's because obviously they really want our way of life and the things that we eat to radically change. They don't want us to eat foods that make us strong. They want us to eat synthetic meat created by Bill Gates. They want us to eat bugs. They want us to drink soy milk so that we become weak and obedient, and we do as they say, and we buy what they offer.
Decline.
I don't understand why you have to pay to live on a planet you were born on.
Facts. Run that back.
Do as they say, and we buy what they offer.
I don't understand why you have to pay to live on a planet you were born on.
Hello. Come on.
And I mean, it's such a simple question.
You sound like you about to break down.
Ever since. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen?
Oh, let's hear that one more again, man.
And we do as they say, and we buy what they offer.
I don't understand why you have to pay to live on a planet you were born on. And I mean, it's such a simple question, and it's haunted me ever since. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Ask yourself that question. Please. Why do we have to pay to live on a planet we were born on? And who are we actually paying for the privilege of being alive here? Who made them the boss? Who put them in charge?
Yo!
You know? Think about that.
Right now,
y'all can run that back 100 times on them.
It's the original mission that humans were put on this planet for. Humans were an angelic race.
Yo, y'all see her name, right?
Think about that.
Right.
Ashiana Dean. Look her up if you're interested in her stuff, man. She talk that talk. She from the Emerald Covenant, man. She from the Emerald Covenant, man. So get in tune if that's what you resonate with.
Right now, we're on a mission. It's the original mission that humans were put on this planet for. Humans were an angelic race. They were not created as a fallen, sinful race. They were a race of angels that was put here to guard this planet and to protect its shields and help restore them and heal them, because they have been damaged by races that we refer to as the fallen angelic races.
I see you people out there.
The fallen
we
angelic
working on the back end doing what we supposed to. My eyes getting watery. I'm really tapped in like that.
However, they made decisions and choices that created a fate for themselves that was very unfortunate. They created a situation where, in rebelling against their connection to Source, they genetically altered themselves in a way that they could no longer hold the higher frequencies of consciousness that connect us all to Source. So they decided to become masters of the universe themselves, and they tried to take over other universes in order to feed on them. Right now, what we're dealing with is a situation that for many thousands of years, this planet has been under siege. And there has been a deadline to that siege. There has been a time that was waited for, and the Bible told us about this time. It was the time when the stargates would open, the planetary stargates, the portions of the planetary scalar template that open between this space-time place and other space-time places in the higher heavens. This is that time. We've gotten into, in other workshops, that it's in print also, if anybody wants to read it, the information on a stellar activation cycle, how they happen every 26,556 years, and how this is the time period when, ever since Atlantis, it was known this was when the next one was going to occur. There were plans made in Atlantis for this time period. There were plans made on both sides, the sides working the Christos agenda and the sides working the not Christos agenda, or if you want to call it the anti-Christos agenda. Right now, those forces are all back on planet. We're all here, both sides. And interestingly, most of the people are asleep. They don't remember the Atlantean times. They don't remember the agreements they came here to be a part of. They don't know what forces are moving them, or moving with them, or moving through them. That makes people very vulnerable right now, and it makes the planet very vulnerable, because there are things here that we don't see unless we learn to use our inner eyes and our ancient eyes. And there are things going on that we need to be aware of if we're going to be able to maintain integrity in our own personal being, with the integrity of our own divine blueprint, and also to assist the planet to do that cycle.
Yo, hold on, before, cause I like the way she rap, man. I like the way she be, you feel me?
In 22,340 BC, our good buddy Thoth.
Let's hear about the Atlanteans, the wannabe gods, the wannabe. Let's hear about the deceiving things we were taught to believe and follow blindly, and just think, oh yeah, since it's ancient or this, let's get it, man. Shout out to Ashiana Dean,
very
man.
Proud of, and the founders loved dearly.
Let's
because
listen.
of all he had done to try to help rehabilitate the Anunnaki races. he caved into pressure. And he orchestrated something we call the Great Deception. Because he was so trusted, he was allowed into the colonies of the Iani, the Ascended Masters groups that had come here. They had come here to use Stargate 6 to open it. It's something called the Halls of Amareya Passage. It's in Stargate 6. It runs from Sirius B down into Earth. It's like a passage connected to the main passages. They were going to use it to run enough frequency to override the Nibiru and Diodic crystal grid, where it was coming up in what is now the area of Stonehenge. Thoth was supposed to assist in that process. He was also given Cloister Tour Plate 11. Now these plates are discs. They're small discs that store all of the information that has to do with the race history here, the planetary history, but also the race history that went up further into the higher harmonics. He was supposed to translate verbally, not auditory, not in written form, because there was too much corruption to put it in written form on the planet at then. He was supposed to take collectives of the Anu Melchizedek races, which were half human, half Anunnaki, and he was supposed to teach them the truth, the law of one. He was supposed to teach them the Maharata realities, the inner Christos. He was supposed to begin to teach them these things. Another little thing about the Cloister Tour plates, these are frequency holders and transmitters. They can also transmit frequency that activates something else called a signet shield. There were 12 Cloister Tour plates that were created at the same time as 12 signet shields. These look like hubcaps. Okay? They're bigger than the plates. You have the small plate, then you have a signet shield. The signet shields were given to the angelic human races in 2,460 BC, no, 246,000 BC, 246,000 BC. As part of the Emerald Covenant, they're remote activators for the Stargates. Okay? You can't activate the shield without the plate that goes with it. Thoth was entrusted with Plate 11 in order to transmit information to help the Anu Melchizedek races.
I hope y'all listening.
Some of them, the ones that weren't totally corrupt at that point, to go into the light and to start, going into bioregenesis. He made a decision to side with the rest of his families, with the Enki family. We call it Thoth Enki because that is a particular group. Thoth Enki is the Enki Anunnaki family that crossed with the Zephelium Draconians, which are the ones that created the Zetas. So you could be like Thoth Enki Zeta races. All right. Then there's the Marduk lines that cross with the Omicron Draconians, which are the ones that kind of look like dragons. So there's different families of Anunnaki up there.
Oh yeah.
Thoth caved into the pressure of the thought of a united Anunnaki nation, where all these usually warring factions of Anunnaki, bunches of them were agreeing to come back together, and they were going to create a new paradise, and they were going to take good care of this time matrix, so I guess it was okay to take it over. He betrayed the founders, and he betrayed everyone who had trusted him, and he had, for thousands of years, he had worked the Emerald Covenant and had done tremendous things for the races, so he was very well loved. But he himself came in to the Iani colonies. The Iani colonies were on what was the remainder of the Lemurian continent. There wasn't much left of the Lemurian continent after it was destroyed in 50,000 BC, but there were some island nations left. The Iani colony was put on the area where the activator site for Stargate 12 was. Not the gate, but the activator site, the Q site, which are even more important than the sites themselves because you can't activate the site unless you activate the activator site first, the Q site. This area is now Kauai, Hawaii. They put the colony there because they needed to activate Gate 12 activator site and connect it to the Halls of Amareya.
Oh, let's run that back, bro.
This area is now Kauai, Hawaii.
Is that making sense to y'all? Is that making sense to y'all?
They put the colony there because they needed to activate Gate 12 activator site and connect it to the Halls of Amareya, D6 Stargate, to run enough frequency through to break the Nibiru and Diodic crystal grid link. That's what they were trying to do. Thoth came in and handpicked a few Anu Melchizedek priests, got them in because he was trusted, got them into the priest caste that were working with the Templar mechanics. And even though they're Anu Melchizedek, we weren't prejudiced against Anu Melchizedeks. As long as they were working the Emerald Covenant and could be trusted, they were welcome too to help with the planetary grids. He got them in to an 11-year program, or it was like a 10 or 11-year program, of progressively working up to the point as a Melchizedek priest, where they would be able to go to the island, the hidden city on the island, and work the big project, which was to break Nibiru and hold on the grids. And he got a group of priests in, and Melchizedek priests, and they sabotaged the whole mission. And then Thoth came in himself when it all went to heck. There were raids that came in directly from Nibiru, and Thoth was with one of them that landed in the Iani, on the Iani settlement. He gave them an opportunity, the Iani priests, they were given the opportunity they needed female breeders on Nibiru to get the codes. So the Iani women were offered an opportunity. If you don't want your husbands tortured and killed and sent over as basically fish bait to the corrupt Atlantean temples, we'll let them go, but you come with us. Thoth offered that deal.
Wow.
This is a good example of how wonderful things and horrible things can live in the same body. A bunch of the Iani women went to try to save their husbands. It was even worse, though, because the Great Deception came in here. They were told. Now, we were all isolated, and I say we because I was there. That was one of my incarnational places. We came into an experience where all of a sudden there are spaceships coming from everywhere, and they're landing on the island, and they're Nibiruan spaceships. Everybody's scattering. Oh no, what happened? They had jammed our communication lines to the inner Earth races and to Sirius B, which were our main outposts that we could receive off-planet information. We were told that they had control of the planet itself, that they'd taken the whole thing already. We were told that Alcyon Council, it's the Palladian Council, that works with Sirius B and the rest of them, had surrendered because they had won certain battles. We would have been left to believe that there was nothing left. And they had said, if you don't agree to come with us, we'll not only torture your husbands, we're going to blow up the whole place because we don't need it. We'll get inner Earth, and then we'll destroy all the races on the face of the planet. So if you women of the Iani care about the other life forms on this planet, you'll agree to be our breeders. You'll agree to come to Nibiru with us. Because if you don't, we'll do horrible things to this planet. We were under the understanding that, this is really bad. They have control of the whole thing. And without Alcyon Council to hold Gate 5, that meant they had Gate 5, not just Gate 4. That meant that the only hope of fixing anything was to stay alive long enough to try to figure out what to do next. So a bunch of the Iani women, because they thought that that's the way the reality was, the way it had been painted, they went with them to Nibiru to be breeders. But they didn't get to go before they got to be breeders. They had to make sure they were pregnant. There was a selection.
Wow, that's
only
sick.
The best of them were chosen. Boy, did that imprint come through with us now. I think women get their total insecurity about how they look because they were treated like meat. Only the ones that had the right genetic characteristics, the right eye color, the right hair color, the right proportions, were allowed to even be selected. You got to remember, Iani women were guardian women. They also came in as part of what's called a gender twin set. They came in with their twins, something called the Maharic twins, which are their D12 level Christos twins. They're genetically bonded together, Iani twins. Male and female couples. They come in at the same time, and they have strand 1 through 6 polarized and separate, but strands 7 through 12 are bonded. So they're literally one being when you get to D7. They split up the Iani gender twin couples.
Wow.
And they forced the women to become breeders of Anunnaki.
That's why they had D6, Stargate D6. Okay, because they had to go down. Okay.
Necessary.
Y'all following?
Didn't want to play the selection thing. Go ahead, kill me and my mate. I don't care. We hate you. You know, that kind of thing. You're doing something terrible. We're not going to help you. They would rape them instead. And if they happened to be able to get them to conceive, they would.
Okay, now the world.
That's sick, yo.
Is changing its frequency and its vibration. It's already doing it. You know things are speeding up. Everybody knows that. Time is speeding up. Everything is speeding up. So we're getting ready to shift into a totally new dimension. We have to. The earth has got to the point where they can't do anything else to help it. We're just destroying so much here. There's going to have to be a separation to move into the new frequency. And they said the entire universe is watching. This is the greatest show on earth because it has never happened in the history of the universes before that an entire planet will make the shift at one time. But it is changing, the frequencies are changing, we're shifting already. You can feel it in your own bodies. I don't know if you felt it yet or not. A lot of people are having physical ailments. They're going to the doctors can't find anything wrong with them because it's not anything that they've ever experienced before. They have said the doctors are using the old information that they have been taught. They are not aware of what is really happening to the bodies now. Our DNA is being changed.
Molecular
the
structure.
The vibration rate is being changed, and we are shifting with the planet. We have to. It can't happen suddenly because the body wouldn't be able to handle it. It has to happen gradually, a little at a time. And when it makes these little jumps, people are experiencing physical problems. They can be heart palpitations, blood pressure, tiredness, dizziness, muscle aches and pains, lots of different things that I've heard. But when they go to the doctor, they can't find anything wrong because it's nothing physical that they can put their finger on.
If you're having any ascension symptoms, I'm going to tell you something that will help, that helped me. Grounding, sun gazing, and resting. I just gave you 3 keys to easing your ascension symptoms. As I understand and overstand, they can be very intense. Hence why I've been going a while. Like I said, I've been doing back end work, and as far as my work on the back end, to be honest with you, I've been experiencing a lot. I told y'all this already. On a higher plane, on a higher level, on a spiritual level, we got to take care of ourselves. What? Physically, spiritually, emotionally, and energetically. Let's get it.
But our DNA is being changed, and the ETs have been helping a lot with this. We're going to be at the point where we're not going to be sick anymore. The whole earth is going to be totally different. And there's going to be many left behind because they can't change their frequency and vibration quick enough to move with it. They have to be working on it now, or you're not going to move. You'll be stuck with the old earth. The ones that are deep into the negativity, they said they will be allowed to live out their lives on the old earth. But when they die, they will not come back to the new earth because the new earth will have no negativity.
Balance and harmony.
They will be sent to another planet that is still experiencing negativity so they can work it out. Some of them, there's just no hope for them because it's gone too far. They're too loaded down, steeped with all of these karma from past lives, and they can't get out of it.
Yeah,
but
that's unfortunate.
Those of you who have an idea what's happening are already making the first step to move into the new earth. So see, the one will not be aware of the other. That's what they mean by those left behind, will not even be aware that anything has happened. The old earth is still there, vibrating at this lower frequency with all these terrible things happening to it, but the other earth moves into the new dimensions, vibrating so fast it becomes invisible. So they are not aware anything has ever happened.
We need to start building Faraday.
That's something.
Cages over our entire houses, if not bedrooms at least. Maybe you don't have insomnia. Maybe you don't have depression. Maybe you are just being microwaved slowly while you try to sleep.
I'm trying to come out when it's going down, of course.
Heart palpitations, just rapid heart
rate. That's how they do. Block the sun out.
Slow down.
All right, so I just wanted to document the continuing microwave pulses that we are getting hit with every day. And I'm noticing they are ramping up. On the 16th, they started at 9:11 at night until 9:11 in the morning. You see the pulse going from the east to the west coast. All right, boom, you see that?
That blue wave?
Those are NEXRAD stations. Each of those towers are 750. Right, so I just wanted to document the continuing microwave pulses that we are getting hit with every day. And I'm noticing they are ramping up. On the 16th, they started at 9:11 at night until 9:11 in the morning. You see the pulse going from the east to the west coast. All right, boom, you see that?
That's insane.
Those are NEXRAD stations. Each of those towers are 750 kilowatts, pumping out between 2.7 to 2.9 gigahertz in the microwave range. This is roughly the same frequency as your microwave oven, and it has the same cause and effect relationship.
Wow.
I know. This is broken record kind of stuff, but it's important because it's still affecting everybody. It's affecting everyone. We have no say yet again in something like this.
Have any of you been having a hard time resting or getting in the
case study? They want more science.
Having a hard time getting up from rest, like you just in a real deep resting state?
To show that this stuff is not going to severely affect our health, because from what they're gathering, it already is.
Yeah.
We used to practice this thing called the precautionary principle, which all medicine and science should be practicing. And it is that when human activities may lead to morally unacceptable harm that is scientifically plausible but uncertain, actions shall be taken to avoid or diminish that harm. What's infertility at right now? Like, it's insane. The rates just keep getting higher and higher every year. Yet we know it's not the only thing linked, but we do know that it affects women and it affects babies in utero.
Long that they held this pulse while we slept.
Rusty. We don't
and look at all the other anomalies that are happening here on the screen. Look at
women and it affects babies in utero.
Long that they held this pulse while we slept.
Man,
and look at all the other
all over the place like that. Part 1, part 4, part 2.
Anomalies that are happening here on the screen. Look at what's going on in Texas. All right, you see that big blast? Looks like a giant laser, doesn't it? Boom, see that? And then it gets obscured by the towers. Now they can add the Doppler towers with this. NEXRAD has like 159. Doppler has 160. Now you can consider the HARP stations. There's 33 of those, but they don't show up on this satellite. This covers the microwave range. This is a NEXRAD feed. All right. Now here's where it gets worse.
33 HARP stations.
On the 17th, the next day. Here you go. Starts at 8:11 and goes until 9:11 in the morning. So they
listen, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation, man. That was pretty long. I know it was. I ain't gonna lie to you. So I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation. If you made it to this portion of the video, I'll definitely give Grace Gratitude thanks. If you're new to the channel, hit the like button, hit the sub button, hit the share button, hit them comments up, because we discuss and dissect. You feel me? If you want to connect with me more, follow me on Instagram or check me out on Instagram. You know, so you could kind of get more into my personal stuff. Because, you know, YouTube got certain guidelines stuff we got to follow. So if you want to really know the real me and connect with me a little more, follow me on YouTube. I leave all the links in the description. The links is in my about. You know, with that being said, Haven, I send deep divine abundance, balance, harmony, love, prosperity, strength, and unity. I'm out.
I'm out of space, I'm flowing, so no slowing down, let's speed it.